This is Dr. Bev Knox, and you are listening to my psychology tutorials. Learn psychology while you sleep.
What is intelligence? Let us review the key concepts of intelligence. Intelligence consists of the ability to solve problems and to adapt and learn from experiences. A key aspect of intelligence focuses on its individual variations. Traditionally, intelligence has been measured by tests designed to compare people's performance on cognitive tasks. Sandford-Beniet developed the first intelligence test and created the concept of mental age. William Stern developed the concept of IQ for use with the Beniet test. Revisions of the Beniet test are called the Sandford-Beniet. The test scores on the Sandford-Beniet approximate a normal distribution. The Wechsler scales created by David Wechsler are the other main intelligence assessment tools. These tests provide an overall IQ score on a number of subtests and several composite indexes. When used by a judicious examiner, tests can be valuable tools for determining individual differences in intelligence. Test scores should be only one type of information used to evaluate an individual. IQ scores can produce unfortunate stereotypes and false expectations. In many studies, intelligence has been defined as whatever intelligence test measures, which was tended to be school smarts. But intelligence is not the quality like height or weight, which was the same meaning to everybody worldwide. People assign this term to the qualities that enable success in their own time and culture. Charles Spearman believed that we have one general intelligence that is at the heart of all our intellectual behavior, from navigating the sea to excelling in school. He granted that people often have special, outstanding abilities, but he noted that those who score high in one area, such as verbal intelligence, may typically score higher than average in other areas. Spearman's belief stemmed in part from his work with factor analysis, a statistical procedure that identifies clusters of related items. The idea of a general mental capacity expressed by a single intelligence score was controversial in Spearman's day, and so it remains. One of Spearman's early opponents was L.L. Thurstone. Thurstone gave 56 different tests to people and mathematically identified 7 clusters of primary mental abilities, such as word fluency, verbal comprehension, perceptual speed, numerical ability, inductive reasoning, and memory. Other psychologists, particularly since the mid-1980s, have sought to extend the definition of intelligence beyond the idea of academic smarts. Howard Gardner has identified 8 relatively independent intelligences, including the verbal and mathematical aptitudes assessed by standardized tests. Thus, the computer programmer, the poet, the street smart adolescent, and the basketball team's play point guard exhibit different kinds of intelligences. Sternberg's triadic theory states that there are 3 main types of intelligence: analytical, creative, and practical. Sternberg created a test to assess these 3 types of intelligence and described applications of theories to children's education. Gardner maintains that there are 8 types of intelligences. Our frames of mind include verbal skills, mathematical skills, spatial skills, musical skills, interpersonal and extrapersonal skills, and naturalist skills. The Key Schools applies Gardner's view to educating children by immersing students in activities that closely correlate with the Gardner's 8 frames of mind. Emotional intelligence is the ability to perceive and express emotion accurately and adaptively, to understand emotion and emotional knowledge, to use feelings to accurate thought, and to maintain emotions in oneself and others. The multiple intelligence approaches have broadened the definition of intelligence and motivated educators to develop programs that instruct students in different domains. Critics maintain that Gardner's multiple intelligence classification seems arbitrary. Critics also say that there is insignificant research to support the concept of multiple intelligences. Interest in discovering links between the brain and intelligence has been stimulated by advances in brain imaging. A moderate correlation has been found between overall brain size and intelligence. Recent research has revealed a link between a distributed neural network in the frontal and spatial lobes and intelligence. Research on the connection between neural processing speed and intelligence has produced inconsistent findings. Genetic similarity might explain why identical twins show stronger correlations on intelligence tests than fraternal twins do. Some studies indicate that the IQs of adopted children are more similar to the IQs of their biological parents. Many studies show that intelligence has a reasonable, strong hereditary component, but environmental influences are also important. Intelligence test scores have risen considerably around the world in recent decades, which is called the Flynn effect, and this supports the role of environment in intelligence. Researchers have found that being deprived of formal education lowers IQ scores. Ramsey's research revealed the positive effects of educational childcare on intelligence. Let's talk about group comparisons. Cultures vary in the way they define intelligence. Early intelligence tests favored white, middle socioeconomic status, urban individuals. Tests may be biased against certain groups that are not familiar with the standard form of English, with the context tested, and with the tested situation. Tests are likely to reflect the values and experience of the dominant culture. In the United States, children from African American and Latino families score lower than children from white families on standardized intelligence tests. Intelligence is not as stable across childhood and adolescence as the original theorists believed. Many children's scores on intelligence tests fluctuate considerably. Let us discuss the extremes of intelligence and creativity. We will review intellectual disability, giftedness, and creativity. Intellectual disability is a condition of limited mental ability in which the individual 1. Has a low IQ, usually below 70. 2. Has difficulty adapting to everyday life. And 3. Has an onset of these characteristics by age 18. Most affected individuals have an IQ in the 55 to 70 range, which is considered mild intellectual disability. Intellectual disability can have organic cause, such as organic intellectual disability, or be social and cultural in origin, called cultural familia intellectual disability. Individuals who are gifted have above average intelligence with an IQ score of 130 or higher, and or superior talent for something. Some characteristics of gifted children include marching to their own drum and a passion to master their domain. Giftedness is likely a consequence of both hereditary and environment. Creativity is the ability to think about something in novel and unusual ways and come up with a unique solution to problems. Although most creative people are intelligent, individuals with high IQs are not necessarily creative. Creative people tend to be more divergent thinkers. Traditional intelligence tests measure convergent thinking. Parents and teachers can use a number of strategies to increase children's creative thinking.